Okay, let us start now. A warm welcome to Abode Masters, Brother Joe Huang, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Today, I would like to share a short accepted master's speech. Cherish life, setting an example. The value of life cannot be measured. If you cherish it, it becomes valuable. If you neglect it, it loses its worth. May everyone treasure their own life, cherishing and making the most of it. With every action, do good deeds, walk the right path, the path of Bodhisattva. Through first-hand experience and self-reliance, setting an example is the essence of spiritual practice. For Master's teaching. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sahara land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in this world. Now let us pray together for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our board masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gems. Let us pay our respect for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved abode masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have 4 sharers. Brother Huang sharing with us on the Dharma Insights, and Sister Chow Yoke will be sharing with us on the love and care through TIMA outreach at Bukit Beruntung, and followed by myself and Sister Su Ching will be sharing on the compassionate aid for Bintulu and Taman Sri Alam, healing homes and sharing love. Okay, before that, let us invite Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary.感恩, like Sister Su Ching, over to you. 感恩.
Thank you so much, Sister Lily. Okay. Let me share this. So last week we had 3 sharers, and it started with Brother Huang, who spoke about Hualien being abuzz with joy for Chinese New Year's festive cheer. Yet Master bore her pain, her strength sincere. Half her day's rest, then back on her feet. Her endurance and grace made her feet complete. Grateful we are, she mingles despite her age, a beacon of wisdom turning life's page. Now to the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, its teachings profound. 10 chapters of truth in wisdom abound. First, Buddha prepares disciples for times ahead, for the world evolves, though Dharma stays spread. Second, Dharma embraces all, no caste, no creed, a future diverse where all hearts may heed. Third, disciples must strive with open minds, observant, diligent, where truth one finds. Fourth, understand deeply cause and effects thread, the cause of all things where wisdom is bred. Fifth, disciples must rise as teachers they grow. Great mentors of Dharma, its light to bestow. In the chapters on Arhats, true teachings are clear. Inadequacy of wisdom, yet superpowers appear. No power surpasses the karmic cycle's might. Cherish the teachings, but care for the body's plight. True sight sees beyond what eyes may perceive. With heart and Buddha nature, one must believe. A hairdresser, royal and equal in practice, devout in precepts, no status may distract us. Not born equal, yet equal in karma's gaze, Buddha's vision of equality was ahead of his days. Okay. Then Sister Su Ching spoke about the elderly care. In Taiwan, the US, and worldwide, centers grow for seniors to learn their spirits aglow. Northern California Center was launched with cheer to over 100 with ages spanning near. Volunteers of all ages became a joyful scene, helping seniors forget age, learning evergreen. Courses diverse like an elderly VIP club, exercise, brain games, and an interaction rub. Props and dances, piano and jazz in play, teachers hands-on guiding the way. Ziti classes blend with love and care, students inspired, volunteers beyond compare. Malaysia's aging population finds its place. Ziti's initiative in Malacca was a warm embrace. Non-traditional activities from art to health, promoting well-being, both mind and stealth. Health checks, mind games, and exercise to try. Seniors to find focus, their spirits soar high. Loneliness fades as connections take root. Drawing, learning, and self-care to boot. The stars shine bright. The sky is a delight. But warmth in hearts is the world's true light. Elderly centers are a beacon of care, building lifelong learning communities to share. And then we have Sister Kim Yan, who spoke about Bodgaya's quit drinking program. In 8 villages, health screenings began. 300 drank, a challenging plan. Door to door, we urged them to quit. Tedious but vital, we never submit. Tea replaced alcohol, progress in sight. 105 chose to end their drunkenness plight. Poor fruit-based brews are a source of pain. Tiredness, cheap thrills were the reasons they'd explain. Bodgaya banned alcohol, yet spending grew. Health risk rose, education's value we knew. Workplace losses, absenteeism's heavy toll, income drain taking a personal scroll. At the year-end blessing, 58 attended. Eco-friendly teddy bears made of towels acknowledge efforts extended. Families grew closer as transformations are clear. Seeds of goodness planted with care and cheer. Okay, Kan En for listening. I'll hand over, hold on, let me just stop share. I'll hand over to Brother Chin to introduce our next speaker.
And then this is Su Ching for the great summary. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome again to another Saturday morning sharing. We got three sharers this morning. So we have Brother Huang is going to share with us the Dharma Insights. And so we look forward to Brother Joe for the great insights I've been sharing with us weekly. Brother Joe?
Yes.
Yes, great. There you go. Looking forward to hear your insights.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Chin. Good evening, good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody online, and it's always wonderful to be so diligent to follow each footsteps with this mindfulness, and to be able to carry out our lives in this meaningful manner, where we want to enhance and increase the value of every minute and every moment that we're spending. So, as Brother Chin mentioned, for the past few months, the morning sharing session, I have been using the content that I use for the Singapore English Dharma book study as the main topic. But I get a lot more opportunity to go deeper, to go more in depth and share about what's really in my mind. And I think that's something that I value very much, because I think a lot of times there are so many things that I really wanted to say more, but I couldn't. Okay, so even though I prepare this, but you can realize that the content is moving forward at a very slow pace, and that's because always I wanted to recap. I wanted to make sure that everybody gets what was beforehand. Okay, so let's continue for this week. What we are going to have here. So this is something that we did last time. You know, I had this, you know, and this is what I think is even more important. I think more than half of what we do in terms of our sharing should be about what happened before. And that is to say that I think, and that makes a lot of sense, in that today's content wouldn't be as important or as understandable unless you have the context of the previous contents. So in other words, we are building on top of what we had built before. And if we did not know what we built beforehand, how can you build on top of this already? You can't, or it's going to be very strange. So that's why I would take a lot longer time to cover and review what we have talked about, and then maybe less than half the time talking about what we're going to be talking about today. And the reason is because the content for today is enhanced due to the content from before. And that is because the context provides much bigger sense than just the information. We're not here to disclose a lot of information, disclose a lot of knowledge to everybody, but rather the very little bit of information and knowledge that we disclose today in today's session is connected with a much bigger pool of knowledge. And when they're connected, it's greater than the sum of them of each individually. Okay, so for chapter 1, so far we've gone through previous 8 sections, and each one of them actually has different meanings, different ideas. So the first one, it talks about tens of thousands came before the Buddha. And this is talking about, for the Dharma teachings to be sustainable, Buddha must prepare disciples for the future. This is telling us that the Dharma actually fits all people, all caste, all background, everything. The Dharma is actually not just even for people, humankind. It's actually for all the different realms. So for something like this actually transcends time. Dharma actually fits all time, everywhere. And because of that, we need to also prepare and pass this teaching to the future. But even though the Dharma itself is timeless, but people are not. People go through age, people go through dying. This cycle of birth and dying, right? Birth and death. But the whole idea is that even though the teaching remains the same and it remains to fit all cases, but we need to change our ways of teaching because people are changing, right? You can't possibly teach the same way as 2,500 years ago. Because right now we have all these technology ahead of us. And I'm sure, even though I'm not up to it yet, but AI is going to become a very important aspect to also help us. But that's going to be very different. That's going to change our way of doing things also. Attaining great wisdom, understanding all Dharma, right? And this is still talking about the disciples. If you want to carry this teaching to the future, if you want to make sure that the teaching can be understood and can be accepted by the people of the future, when everything could be very different, they need to be diligent. The teacher themselves must be diligent. The hearts and minds have to be open to technology, open to the current events, open to all the things around you, so that you can actually pass the teaching that's timeless. You have to be willing to change accordingly in order to teach something that is timeless. You had to change according to time to teach something that is timeless. Because something that is timeless might not always be received so easily across different times. I'm sure we all understand, right? The values of life, when Master teaches us, it's going to be very different than when we are going to teach to our kids or the new generation. Our thinkings will be different, our tools will be different, our world will be different, people will be different. Therefore, the teacher themselves, who are the disciples of today. So the students of today is going to be the teachers of tomorrow. So this book, this sutra of infinite meanings is actually talking about how, because the Dharma needs to be sustained, because the Dharma needs to be passed on to the future generation, that the students of today need to become the teachers of tomorrow. And you must now need to learn, because it's going to cross different times, that you need to be diligent, you need to keep your hearts open, and the minds open, and be observant and willing to learn. And one of the things that you need to learn is to deeply understand the causes and conditions of everything. And that's something that I think as a practitioner, you need to especially understand even deeper. Because it's no longer just if you plant a seed and it will comes out, the fruit will come out, the tree will come out. It's no longer just that. It's actually much deeper, right? So one key aspect is to deeply understand the causes and conditions of everything, right? So great guiding teachers for all sentient beings, the disciples, followers, students must now also learn to be teachers, and not just teachers, but great teachers. And we talked about what it means to be great teachers. We talked about there are many times where the students need ways to practice. The teachers need to provide the fertile grounds where the students can learn. The teacher need to be the safe haven for students, not just the well of knowledge, not just providing the knowledge, but more importantly, they are the safe haven for these students. That's very important. So we've gone through the first 5, and then we're now into section 6, where we're talking about all the great bhikshus, or all the great disciples were arhats. So what does that mean, actually? Well, in this particular section, we're talking about who can be good teachers. Previous section, we talked about what makes a good teacher, what makes a great teacher. Now, we're talking about who can be good teachers. And last time we talked about these 4. We talked about all 4 of these last time. All the great bhikshus were arhats, and we talked about Sariputra, talk about the meaning of true wisdom. And I always like to get back to this, because I think out of these stories, they're really telling us more than just what the story is telling us. For example, understanding Sariputra, understanding and knowing this person as the foremost in wisdom, it means 2 things. What does it mean to have true wisdom? Number 1, knowing the inadequacy. Knowing your own inadequacy is the first wisdom. The wise person knows what that person lacks. That's very important. You know you're missing something. And you know right away when that something is right in front of you, and you know to cherish it and grab it. That makes wisdom. You know you're missing something, and you know that when you see the things that you're missing, and you cherish it and you hold on to it. That's wisdom. So I think for Shariputra, that was what the message was. Do we know what we're missing in our lives? And if we're looking for it, do we know it when we see it? And do we know to hold on to it? I think that makes true wisdom. If we can do all of that, and then be diligent, once you hold on to it and you practice it, that's true wisdom. And that's what Shariputra did. So I think it's not anything that Shariputra did in terms of debating. I think it's the attitude. I think it's the mentality that makes Shariputra the foremost in wisdom. And then we have Shariputra's very good friend who manifests this power. And I think the idea wasn't that. The idea wasn't that people can fly, or people have these, telekinesis where they can move things without touching them, just using their mind. I think it's not about that. I think it's telling you that we all have these powers. We can do things that are greater than what we thought we could. That's power. And if you can do things much, much greater, that's superpower. I think so. I think, I think not everybody can do all these things. That's why there's superpower and there's only power, right? Minor power. But what Master showed us is just that. Master has all these things that's accomplished. But if you were to ask yourself 60 years ago, could somebody like this could do all this? You probably wouldn't believe that. That's power, right? Because she's got this superpower. That's why all these things are accomplished. But what is this power? Master always talks about because she has good affinity, right? The truth, the true teaching is the karmic cycle. The truth itself is affinity. It's this causality. It's this cause and effect, this affinity and this result. So Master knew the true power in the karmic cycle. So Master planted the seeds. Therefore, the seeds now grown. So there's more power to that. So none of these power, all the things we did, they all have the backgrounds in this. True sight is to understanding, to see beyond what the eyes can see. And I think this is very important because a lot of times we read it and we think we understand. A lot of times we read something, we see something, and we think we understand it, but we don't. True equality is something that was completely unheard of at the time. Because Buddha knew that if you're going to translate well into the future, you're not going to go well if you have this caste system. So even though at the time, the world, the society was completely filled with all these people with different castes and all these different discrepancies and also prejudice and also all these very negative things, right? Buddha already knew that at the time, we're all equal. There's no caste, there's no differences, there's no discrepancy, there shouldn't be any prejudice against anybody of any background. And that carries very well now here in today's world because that's what we have. In fact, it might not be what we have everywhere, but that's the value that everyone holds. Imagine that 2,500 years ago. That's not the idea that's prevalent, that is, the prevailing concept at the time. But it is now. So for Buddha, in order for the teachers to be great teachers, they have to have true wisdom, knowing their own inadequacy, and knowing when they got something that's right. The true power, knowing that if you plant the seeds, you have good affinity, the results are going to be much, much better than what you could possibly are capable of. True sight, take care of your own health, but at the same time, see beyond what the eyes tell you, what the eyes can see. Hear beyond what the ears and the sounds tell you. And true equality. So that's what we talked about last time. And I think I wanted to rebuild this. Sometimes to rebuild this so that everybody understand the context and the sort of immense power behind all the things that we're trying to cover here. Okay? So now we're moving on to the next three. First, start with Ananda, true servant. What is the true servant? Right? So for Ananda, the story was that he wanted to be, that Sariputra asked him to be the servant of Buddha. Because before that, it had been Sariputra mostly. But as he was also aging, he needed to find somebody younger who could take care of the Buddha's needs. Therefore, he found Ananda, who is the son of the Buddha, the Lord Buddha. So what does it mean to be the true servant? Understanding the past. I'm not just here to take care of the current, the now, and the future, but I need to understand why from the past. And I think this is very, very, very true. I remember back in 2015, 2016, that was almost 10 years ago. 9 years had passed since then. That was when I first got the responsibility to plan the itinerary of Master during these annual trips. And if you don't understand what happened before, it's impossible for you to serve anything. If you don't understand the people, you can't serve them. It's impossible to serve them to the best of your ability. You need to learn why and what happened. And I learned on the job. People tell me, people teach me, and now I accumulate my own experience and avoid any unnecessary confusion. And this is the part that's talking about not only do they need to learn from the past, but a true servant knows his place. A true servant knows what can be done and what can't be done, because you don't want to cause any confusion. Because for Ananda, not only is he the servant, but he's also a disciple, a student, and he's also the Buddha's son. So he doesn't want any confusion as to what his role is. He doesn't want any confusion because it's only going to distract people from understanding and learning Dharma. So there doesn't want to have any unnecessary confusion. Who you are, your role as a true servant, and your role is to do what and when. So true to his role and responsibility, we as a teacher or we as a student, what is our responsibility and what is our role? There shouldn't be any confusion, and we need to know the past. So these are the things that Ananda's story tells us, not just about being a servant to the Buddha, but what he asks. So I think this is something that, once again, just like the story from the previous Upali, right? You just have to have this true sight. It wasn't Upali, but you just had to have this true. Upali was equality, but you had to have this true sight that what you see beyond what the eyes can see, right? Okay, Rahula. Okay, I made a mistake. Rahula was the son, okay, not Ananda. Ananda was the cousin, okay, so strike that, okay? But you need to know the role, right? Avoid any confusion. So your role as, are you the cousin, or are you the blood-related cousin, or are you, just basically avoid any unnecessary confusion, all right? Rahula is true heritage, okay? I apologize. I apologize for my lapses in my thoughts. Okay, so Rahula, true heritage, right? What does that mean, right? So this is talking about the idea of causality, heritage, cause and effect, right? So obstacles to self and others are just part of the journey, right? The stories are talking about what Rahula did. Why was there an obstacle when he was about to be born? I think there were stories where he was trapped in the mother's womb for a lot longer than the normal 9 months of pregnancy. And not just to mean that anything that can be conceived, right? There's always going to be obstacles. For something to be born, it has to have a seed, right? Some seed had to be in it. And you have to have the right conditions, right? You have to have the cause, you have to have the affinity in order for anything to be born. However, even if you have the right cause and if you have the right conditions, it's still very possible that there are going to be obstacles. And that's just part of the journey. That's just part of everything, right? But they are the resources for you to make advancements. These are the nutrients for us to take and for us to truly gain from this heritage, truly gain from this obstacle to just be born or to just be able to learn, okay? So true diligence, right? For Kalapaka, true diligence, it's not just the fact that you're working hard. Just like wisdom, it's not like being very wise. Wisdom is really about knowing that you don't know it, right? So true diligence means it's not just the diligence itself, but you are willing. You are willing, you're willing to try, you're willing to learn. So if you put this together with Sariputra's true wisdom, then you understand that knowing your own inadequacy and then seeing what's going to help you, and then you're going to cherish it and grab it and make the most out of that, that's diligence, right? So seeing and knowing, that's wisdom, but you need diligence to make up for it, to continue that, right? So willingness to learn. Let's try. I want to learn. I want to try. Let's try different things, right? this is true diligence. So I think all these disciples are here to sort of let us know that what makes a good teacher. You need to learn the past, avoid any unnecessary confusion. Obstacles are just part of the journey that's going to happen. How do you be a good teacher? How do you be a great guiding teacher? How do you turn these obstacles into something that's actually going to help you? That's a good teacher. That's a great guiding teacher. But you also teach people and lead people, to guide people, the willingness to learn. It's not just guiding people to learn, but you're building their willingness to learn, their eagerness to learn, their thirst for knowledge. It's something that we have to help everybody to inspire. That's what makes a great guiding teacher. Okay, so all these are of a great teacher. But in order to be a great guiding teacher, you have to inspire all these things out of the students. Inspire their willingness to learn the past. Inspire them so that they know the obstacles are just part of the journey. And at the same time, the obstacles are going to be the resources, the nutrients for us to advance. Inspire that as a good teacher, you have to be willing to learn. But as a great guiding teacher, you can now inspire your students to be more eager to learn and more willing to learn. That's what makes a great guiding teacher. Okay, so that's what we have for today. I mean, we're taking these a very little bit at a time, and we're going to try to sort of soak it in and remember all these stories and sort of see beyond what the words tell you, right? The stories are there. The stories are there, but we want to see beyond that. We want to make sure that we get beyond that. And that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so thank you all. And I think that hoping that as we move very, very slowly, very, very casually, we're not sort of in any rush. We can actually get more out of this and get better understanding of what the sutra is trying to tell us, especially at a time when there is going to be a huge generation gap. And the Buddha is trying very hard to prepare these teachers for the future. And that's going to be very difficult. Just like right now, we're experiencing right now, we're seeing in front of us right now, a generational change. You might not see it, you might not feel it, but it's definitely happening. And it's happening faster where I think, most of us are falling out of loop right now. If you're not using AI for half of the things that you're doing, you're probably falling out of the loop. So that's something that we're having to catch up. That's something that we're having to catch up. And so for someone who is as visionary as the Buddha, he knew he needed to change something. Otherwise, this generation is going to change right out under his nose and people are not going to be able to catch up. And even if you have something that is timeless as the true teaching, the people are not going to be able to catch up. And therefore, the true teaching will be lost. That's what Sutra of Infinite Meaning is telling us. And that's what Buddha is preparing us for the future generation. So it fits our time right now, but it's not the same thing as, talking about all these true sight, true diligence, true wisdom, but it fits right now. So it's something that we should contemplate. Okay, thank you. And I look forward for our next time together, hoping we will take another piece out of the Sutra of Infinite Meanings and continue on. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Brother Joe, for the great insights and explaining to us the exemplary teachers to help propagate the path. We look forward to great sharing next week, Brother Joe. All right, next we move on to the next session. We have can we have the videos on, please, to take a photo before the next sharer. If you can on your video, please, that would be great. Excellent. Okay, so Sister Lady, if you may, take a photo, please.
Yeah, okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. 感恩。
Okay, great. Next, we have Sister Chow Yoke from Malaysia. He's going to share with us the love and care through TIMA outreach at Bukit, Beruntung. And Sister Chow Yoke, we look forward to your sharing.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let me start a little about the affinity in Bukit Beruntung Recycling Center first. Yeah. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. In the year of 2022, the old center was taken back by the owner due to her old age. She wanted to sell it off. But was grateful that she allowed us to use or to continue while she was looking for a buyer. I was desperate at that time because once she got a buyer, we need to move out. Immediately, I ended up making a great while, hope able to get a new center soon. And if possible, I want to have a bigger one. Why do I need a bigger one? If those that have involved in the refugees home visit will and most of the family member have medical issues, not to mention if it's the breadwinner. Their condition would be even worse. Most of them could not afford to pay the medical bill or even the transport costs to the hospital. And I always tell myself how good if there's a center and we could help a medical outreach for them. That's how I have ended up making this great while. Then in May, her two brothers willing to offer us here to the existing center. And they even offered the offer. Master always advises to make. Then last year in the month of May, our Who I Live outreach, and without thinking, and she asked me why I didn't ask much. I just told her to accept it and we'll discuss later. After the conversation, I started to worry and wonder how to go about it. And master advice come to my mind, just do it. Was glad that during the renovation of the recycling center, we didn't lock or fix as everything can be removable. So if in need, we can accommodate as planned. The TIMA group, then during our meeting with the TIMA group, only to realize that we do have a budget, and so we try to minimize the expenses. So instead of renting a place, we try to make use of the center. So sorry to have a look at the center. Advise us to try to have 3 lots instead, as we do have an empty lot next door. Transform into a small medical center. So next, second slide. Next, please. Okay, next. Next. Next, please. Okay. See, this is photo. This is actually a storage place. And go back to the previous photo, please. It's okay, never mind. I just continue. Okay, and then from this storage place, we're able to transform it into a place for food preparation and also a dining area for us. We're able to cater about 150 packs of vegetarian meal on that day. And we have a total of 110 volunteers coming from different searchy, and everyone was so excited and could see everyone was putting in their best effort. Not an easy task, as everything need to borrow from Jingsi Hall. And as for the medical equipment, is from Pudu Free Clinic. sorry, we need to have a big lorry to send it over to Bukit Beruntung. And once everything over, we need to return it back, thanks to our brother's effort. Next, please, sister. I think 2 slides down. Next, please, sister. Next. Okay, not this. Never mind. We also prepare some packed vegetables for the refugees, and to promote vegetarian. Could see just next to our center. We have clear and clean this place, and this empty lot doesn't even have water or electricity supply. We were worried that it's going to have a lot of mosquitoes. We prepared this place for registration. Excuse me for a while. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we prepare this place for registration, checking PP and height. And believe it or not, on the day, no one complained about any mosquito bite. Next is next slide. On next slide, sis. On the day, we have 3 dentists, and we also 5 from the Burmese group. Next slide. Okay. We have we're so sorry, yeah. Can I continue?
Yeah, sister, please.
Sorry. On that day, we have 115 refugees turn up, and we doesn't have enough translator, and was glad that most of the refugees willing to help each other, and somehow everything went through smoothly. And we also cater a place for the children to do some drawing while waiting for their parent. Next is here. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. So you can see the picture of the bamboo bank. We also have a bamboo bank corner, and to explain to them about Tzu Chi charity and how the bamboo bank small little collection can help others. Next slide, please. Yeah, can see the girl in the red t-shirt. She is actually from the Burmese, and could say that she's very friendly and very kind, and sometimes she even follow me to do some refugees home visit. Actually, she's helping us to do the translation about the bamboo bank. Next, please. Okay, and our sisters and brother also have a simple hand sign performance while they were waiting to collect medication. Next, please. Okay, and then I was glad that we're able to complete the outreach by 2 p.m. In the beginning, I have volunteer asking, is it worth having this outreach? As we need to have so many volunteers to help out. Frankly, and deep down in my thought, yes, we can't have all, but just a few is also worth the effort. At least we're able to inform them about our Tzu Chi free clinic in Purdue, and some was able to get a referral letter from doctors, which make them easy to access to the hospital. And we also have this case where this little girl got extracted 3 tooth in a go. It sounds so painful to us, but she could bear it. Her mom told us it's better for her, or else she had to bear a long-term pain. And next, please. Okay, let me read this message written by the refugees, their feedbacks actually, and then I'll end my sharing. I'm so sorry because I really have a very, very bad cough. Okay. We really would like to say thank you so much to you and your team in the bottom of our heart. Yeah, all of the patients says thanks to Tzu Chi teams, and we cannot approach to do tooth extraction at private clinic, but today because of Tzu Chi team help, we can eat properly, we can sleep deeply, no more pain. Really appreciated for help. Yeah, again, we deeply would like to say thank you to your team. May God bless always you, bless always you and your team. Yeah, and we are hoping forward to you to visit our place often, and always remember in our prayer. Yeah, so I think I need to end my sharing as I wasn't feeling well and I really have bad cough. So sorry, Sis Su Ching. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, Sister Chow Yoke, thank you for that quick sharing. And as you can notice, Sister Chow Yoke, despite the difficulty, is not feeling too well, despite that, the conditions able to share that. So Bukit Beruntung, obviously that as a condition and opportunity was given for Tzu Chi to take on the role, and Sister Chow Yoke seized the opportunity to do that. Now, the next we have 2 sharers. We have Sister Lily and Sister Su Ching. Both of them, they don't need any introduction. They are the stalwarts of this platform. They're going to share with us their effort that they did in Bintulu. So if I may, Sister Lily and Sister Lily and Sister Su Ching. So Sister Lily going to share first. It's going to talk about the flood relief, and they did the great work that they did in there. In fact, I think some of our KL volunteers are there. Sister Lily.
Yeah.
Thank
Look
you,
forward to that.
Brother Chin. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Cảm ơn. So, good morning, brothers and sisters. I am Lily. So I would like to share my experience in the this Malaysia flood relief registration. So we went to Bintulu. So actually in this flood relief registration, it happens at two places, Miri and Bintulu. So myself and Sister Su Ching went to Bintulu. Okay, so it's happened on from 7 to the 9. So so this is the Bintulu floods area. So it actually the impacted area are very wide, and this is the blue color line is the river. So I understand that because of the heavy rain and the river overflow and causing the floods, this is like had never happened before for like maybe 30 or 40 years. Okay, so it happened on the 28th of February, the Chinese New Year Eve, and by the time we went there, most of the houses are already clear, but still in progress to clean their places. And okay, so you can see the floods when it happens. So you can see the water is up to the roof, like 7 to 8 feet. For the single story houses, most of the furnitures and even their cars and motorcycle all were like in the water. Okay. So since this area are very vast and our Bintulu volunteers need more support from more volunteers to perform this flood relief registration. So so one area have this disaster, and many people from many places come over to help. So when others are hurt, I feel their pain. When others suffer, I grieve with them. So though the natural disaster are merciless, humanity is full of love. We are the children of the global village. So we are living in the same world. So all of us are big family. So it's a global village. When one side is in distress, all sides must come together to support. Let the seeds of great love take root and flourish. So from here, actually there are 388 volunteers were mobilized to conduct the flood relief registration for about 5,000 households. So this is Bintulu. Okay, next. So what is this flood relief registration? So it's actually for us to go house to house to show our care and provide support to the flood victims by conducting door-to-door visits. And so then we capture the information like their IC, their phone numbers, and what are the losses like furniture and motorcycles and electrical equipments. We will jot down and key into the system. So the registration here, the information of the flood victims will be useful to assess the subsequent assistance. So the Bintulu flight tickets will quickly sold off because they are like in one day 100 over volunteers actually register for this activity, and so the tickets was quickly sold off, and the price was like rise, and some volunteers purchased the ticket above RM 1,000. So this shows the sincerity. the volunteers with the great love, loving kindness, compassion, and sincerity purchased the ticket, even exceeded 1,000 ringgit. So we stay in a hotel with a special rate, grateful to the hotel management for their great support and loving kindness. And volunteers arrive at different time, and transportation were arranged effectively by our Bintulu's volunteers. So, and in Sarawak, there is this great support from 4x4 Wheel Club, which without fail would give off themselves with their highlights to transfer us to and fro from hotel to the infected areas for the flood relief registration. And again, grateful to them, and it's a great affinities with this team. And this team actually, the 4x4 club team, also support this our Tzu Chi, to travel to the remote area for medical outreach as well. Every year they will do that together with our Tzu Chi volunteers in Bintulu. So with the Tzu Chi activities, it inspires others to do good. So Tzu Chi, a role model, volunteers too are role model, bringing blessing to others and also self. Okay, so I was there one day earlier, and then we went back one day later because cheaper flight. So we stayed there for like 4 days, 3 nights. We'll show you some of the videos. This is the preliminary investigation and planning.
和平村哦，
基本上我们去到的这些就是我们看到这些区
原本的洞啊，老板还有个什么？
其实我们看到的是在这里收窄啊。
就是花时间，
就要有当地人手不足啊。
拜五的班机买完了
100辆车都是在这边集合啦。
Very good， 好，这次就是我们就是挨家挨户去关怀灾民，去收集一些资料，这样方便我们接下来呢要做一些祝福型发放啊。
好，因为我再重复一下这是明天的行程呢，就是明天星期四，我们雪龙有12位先前的团队前滩12位，我们会9点的班机，然后是1点多抵达到Bintulu。先前部队，我们现在在做后面的行政的处理。我们再加多一位下庆会师姐，因为她报不到。
这一次去Bintulu嘛，大概有210人，然后会分为70个小组，那我们雪龙就过去支援。
这些志工呢都是在短短我们1天时间内，他们就报名了将近174位的志工报名去Bintulu水灾。然后他们都是自驾自费的，大家都是赶紧请假，然后赶紧上网买机票，因为机票越买越贵了。到后面一开始我们才300多块来回，怎么知道到后面呢？我们已经看到已经起到880万块，是我们志工还是到了。
Okay, so we see the dedication of our Tzu Chi office, the Tzu Chi staff doing the planning for the mobilization and how to have this activity smoothly planned. So next, the advanced team who went over to Bintulu earlier, the planning and coordinated team.
所以可以讲，我们这次呢是古晋、Bintulu、Siew还有雪龙4地的家人一起来援助。
在下一个，你的车那个海拉上面有在消防水啦，然后这些是高中学校啦。
1500公里啊，在这些区，然后这就是买湾，这是工业区。看到我们在的地方在这里。这个蓝色的是河流。
先简单的介绍一下我们的团队有谁啊？
在就是危险的地方的照片，然后是什么做写的？那什么时候1个这么大的这台车，招设计师他们
现在这个河水还在涨啊。
哦，那些物品呢，真的是很可怕，已经是完全是不能用了啊。那些大卡车，还有那个 excavator， 那味道真的是，看还有哪一个是还没有在我们的造册里面哦。
We're grateful to to the advanced team who have went there one day earlier to do the survey and so that when the registration teams went over, all were planned and were conducted smoothly. So next we'll show you the video, play the video on the 4x4 vehicle club. Really a great support.
进去里面嘛。要2个小时。
每一次的任何活动或者是有需要的，只要我们想到交通的部分，就马上，主席，我们其实有一个活动，我们很需要你们来帮忙哈。然后主席基本上都是二话不说去帮忙。
我跟我们的人讲，你们的人想去哪里，我们就在哪里。
等一下我现场，等一下。
真的是要感恩这些车队的朋友哈，他们真的是很帮忙我们哦，不然的话这几车辆车我们到底要去怎么安排，还是一个头痛的哦。不过他们现在也是穿着，就是有慈济活动，他会穿着他们自己去准备这个青色的衣服，就是我们的车主席哈。当他穿上这件衣服的时候哦，他的纽扣都会扣成我们这样3D 纽扣。他们不收我们任何费用，也不让我们出什么费用，然后他们也是说得很欢喜的，真的是到处很配合。
我的车来了。
因为我们看到有很多灾难这些灾民，然后需要到帮助了，帮忙让他们可以比较有信心一点，多了一点温暖在那边。
So this is the 4x4 club who have every day sent us to and fro from the disaster area, from hotel to the disaster area. They are really very great support. And so on the February 8 and 9, so about 200 over volunteers formed 60 teams. So each team, there will be like 3 person, one interview and second person to jot down. And then after that, another person take photo whenever required. And there are about 4,000 over houses affected household where we will be going for this flood relief registration with the 44 4-wheel drivers sending us to and fro. So this is the groups of volunteers that have been taken the first day before we start our mission. So we were also given the scripts on what to ask and so on as the guidance. Okay, now let us see this video, a briefing on the flood relief registration. Okay, volunteer gathering.
在8点20分的时候，但是今天如果这边走了。
后面这条河哈蛮严重的哈，水淹水的时候，水灾的时候，大概是整4、5尺高，因为每个都在清洗着，也真的是感到很心痛了哈。
Ini sudah hancur. Jadi inilah banjir paling besar lah.
Harapan seorang cuma inilah dalam bantuan makanan.
Saya rasa sedih tapi tak boleh nak nangis lah sebab kalau nangis tidak betul.
So, sudi ke kita tolong?
分秒必争了，不然呢我们
要加油要加油
因为三天里面要交大概4000多户，所以我们要加油，很快让他们认识我们慈济然后让他们知道我们在关怀他们。
So far okey lah, dia program untuk charity kepada pelajar membantu. So jadi ada sumbangan lah kepada masyarakat.
我是古晋，他是吉隆坡有的人他讲，有的人更需要，他不需要，他们自己很可怜，就是那些土著。
有时间就尽量出来帮忙这些咯。
Sudah naik sampai mana? Dari kecil.
Ya.
经过了我们的安慰，看也是开始看到他们的笑容了哈。
Positif macam itulah.
Terima kasih.
Bintulu. Bintulu. Yalah.
Kucing.
一人一善，就在同行。
So these are some videos that are able to see the overall what we have done over there. Today, I'll be sharing on the emergency distribution, which is for this single mother with the 4 children, which is done on the last day, on the 10th of February. So what is the reason for this distribution? So it's a single mother who are working in the construction site. So before the flood happened, she actually bought all the uniforms for the children. And during the flood, the uniform were not able to be saved as they are saving their lives. So during the post-flood relief registration, she have requested if we can buy the uniform. So at the meantime, they are temporarily staying at the partial completed house near the construction site. So this is permitted by the supervisor because their previous house were all destroyed by the flood. And the journey to and fro the house is 4 times. So why is that? Because we have 2 trips. First trip is to measure the children, the height, the size of the body, the waistline, and the shoes to buy the uniform. Then after that, we go back to the town and buy those uniforms, and we go back there again to distribute to the children. So actually the way to the house is very muddy. I have to cross over. So we were like wondering how to cross. But our brothers and sisters, right, have with wisdom have taken the lead to pave the path with anything available to alleviate from the muddy water so that we can walk. So there are like some bricks and also some narrow woods that we can that have been placed on this muddy water so we can cross over. So we have a mission. So everyone is focused while walking the narrow path, regulating our mind and eliminate afflictions and our anxiety. So with this heart of sincerity to help this single mother and allow the children to return to school with uniform, so we have done it. So here you can see volunteer and here you can these wooden sticks so it's very muddy. And then here focusing on the past to relieve the suffering, going to one shore from one shore to another shore. So everyone walk over. And we also try to balance walking the middle path, so not to fall into the mud, liken the afflictions or of defilement in life. So this is the partial completed house where the recipient have stayed temporarily. So this one is the single mom. So when we reach there, we take the measurement of the children for the uniform. So using the string to take the measurement of the feet, the waistline, and the length of the pants, hope to provide most fitting uniform, not too small or oversized. Yeah.
Ini motor pun masa itu banjir hanyut.
Yeah. And then so then we come out from the house to buy the uniform. So see our volunteers working with effort to reach the destination. Some really calm and steady, some listen to instruction, some helping each other by holding hands, some wobbly trying to find a balance, all working as a team with a common goal to walk the Bodhisattva path to reach the destination.
外面那点时间，那不能够去外面那连有铁梯的，不要这样拿出去，要有车经过的嘞。好，这个桶就要跟着走啊。
So all very mindful, remind that the wood have some nails on it, must not put on the road. Okay, then we went to the town to buy the shop for the uniforms, the shoes and school bags, stationery, belt, the gathered measurements. So we do our best to get the most fitting size based on the measurement as a guidance. Measurement serve as a guidance, tighten the precept for us. If we did not follow, we may buy the wrong size and does not reflect our sincerity and mindfulness. Okay, so when we buy, it's like buying for our children. And when we buying the school bags, we also ask one of the volunteers, young volunteers, about 20 plus. So I asked, which bag is better? So she suggested, oh, these bags have more compartments. If I buy, I'll buy this. So then we get the bag. And for the little girl, we try to we get a bag that have some cartoons. So it will be more happy when they receive it. Okay, so then after purchase the uniform, we go back to the receiving house for new distribution. Okay, and then so these are the uniforms are the most important for the children to return to school. So they are treasures.
我们是要把校服还有书包文具送过去给这个一个急难的补助。
是因为with distribution for the single mom. Okay, so then once we reach there, we arrange it. So everyone do their part in auto mode. Mutual understanding, it was amazing. There was a big wooden plank and 2 buckets, just nice to form a table to place the treasures. One hand move, 1,000 hands move. So someone started to arrange the uniform accordingly for the 3 children, and everyone came to work in unity to complete the task. So all is arranged in orderly manner, and so distribute with dignity to the children and advise them to study and work hard to be a good children. So the children were very happy to receive these treasures. And after the distribution, we have asked them to try. All the uniforms were fitting. This shows the following. By following the guidelines or the precepts, the outcome is right. Grateful for giving us the opportunity to perform these services and also a chance to spread the seeds of loving kindness to this family. Everything difficult to be carried out with a sincere heart.
Nak besar kawan. Aku sudah. Boleh.
So after completed the distribution, so this was captured by one of the sister. So a single mother bid farewell to Sri volunteers with her actions. She never expected it and she was deeply moved and grateful. Sri volunteers trudged through muddy roads just to deliver the necessity for children to attend school. So she has only one thing to say. Saya rasa tenang, anak-anak ada baju sekolah, pensel. Moga kalian selamat sampai rumah. So this is, she's very grateful lah. So Master said education is hope to the family and society. So hope the children have a bright future. So, so this one is the overall video.
Kan kemarin-kemarin saya susah hati pasal pakai anak sekolah semua peralatan habis basah, habis kena tanah.
我们不知道辽阔是什么，我们只知道洒一地甘露，黎明中。
Tidak sangka apa tidak ada perasaan untuk kita ada bantuan bagi saya ini hari bantuan sekolah pakaian anak sekolah saya tidak ada.
Kita sama-sama kuat together. Baru bangkit sama-sama. Yes, saya percaya masa akan datang cerah sebab saya bukan keseorangan.
So this is the mini distribution for the single mom. Okay, next, so just now you see the river and the houses along the river. So next, I will share about the flood relief registration at the squatter house beside the river. Okay, so we have to take boat ride as the picture here. So local volunteers told us the do and don't while getting in and out of the boat to avoid falling into the river. So this is quite scary. So we listen attentively and follow. So first we thought we would just take one ride and then walk to the various houses. But we end up taking multiple rides and it was raining. So we have to take off our coat, raincoat, and then on and off, and also putting on and off our what do you call this safety clothes. Okay, so it's a good test of perseverance and sincere heart. So then while doing the registration, we found one of the family have stayed there with 4 generations. So they have stayed there like about 40 over years in these squatter areas. So they cannot afford to rent a house. So that's why they have to stay there. Water and electricity were supplied to these houses across the river. So you can see like there are these electric cable and the water hose across the river. So the houses were made of wood with partial zinc and full of and the zinc, the roof is all zinc. So the resident told that it is very hot during the daytime and cold at night. So so such is the life over at these squatter areas. And one of the family that we went, the children cannot afford the school transportation fee and end up not going to school. So I've raised a charity case for the local volunteers to follow up. So you can see the houses along the river after the floods have collapsed, and many of the residents have not returned. So looks very fragile and all collapsed. Okay, and so over 10,000 people in East Malaysia actually have been affected by these recent floods, and we need urgent help. So we believe that through the collective goodwill, even a simple contribution like 10 ringgit 30 cent, which actually symbolizes one person, one good deeds in Mandarin. So we create a powerful impact, bringing warmth and hope to those in desperate needs. And safety is a blessing. So let's spread our love and kindness, working together to restore hope. So the fund collected will be used to distribute to the victims. So the distribution, the financial aid distribution, the major distribution will happen tomorrow. So on the 19th, this is the pre-distribution activities. So on the 19th, the SMS have been sent to all the eligible recipients. And the group leaders who did the registration previously were assigned to call and remind the recipient to be there at the venue and the time as stated in the SMS and provide the original IC. So I feel the call is really needed and heartwarming and heart moving to the recipients. So so the planning team was very mindful and also have a special counters to cater for any special situation. So during the call, the recipient also expressed the effectiveness of the tzitzit in response to the flood victims and providing financial aid in speedy manner. So the recipient are really looking forward to the distribution day. And the Jingsi aphorism that I would like to share is the beauty of life lies in doing good deeds with timeliness. The beauty in one's life comes from living out its values. Yeah, so feeling grateful, able to join these meaningful deeds during the Chinese New Year. So with great loving kindness, we form good affinities with more people, feeling joyful. And trudging through the muddy roads and wood rides taught me to be more courageous and increase my perseverance. And the wisdom at dawn on the 21st of February, Master mentioned this, so I feel it's very relevant. Only by knowing this world is full of suffering will we be able to grow in compassion and wisdom. So we have to nurture great love. With this compassion and wisdom, we nurture our great love and benefit humanity. So with great loving kindness, we create joyful affinities together. With compassion, we walk the Bodhisattva path together. Okay, that's my little sharing.感恩 for listening. So now we'll invite next speaker, next sharer, Sister Su Ching. 感恩。
Wow, 感恩 Sister Lily for the most awesome, very heartwarming sharing, bringing us back to to the scene. Very touched looking at this. No wonder Master said 多做多得 the more you do the more you gain because Sister Lily and the teams that can reach there earlier and leave there later. So they have a lot of heartwarming stories. Good morning, dear boat masters, brothers and sisters on the platform. Wonderful morning to everyone. Today I'll be sharing on the flood disasters. Something to do with water. The first one is at Taman Stream Water. Those who know and have heard, this one is at it's here at Sungai Buloh, just like behind our backyard. It's closer to this place. It's because of this the burst of the water retention tank that leads to this the destructions of many furnitures. Maybe before I start, we can watch a video. A video.
水兰德州双溪毛诺斯里阿南住宅区因防洪池决堤导致水灾，事发突然，居民来不及反应，造成许多家具被水破坏。慈济职工听获消息后赶紧勘察，准备提供需要的援助。
Saya sendiri terkejut waktu itu. Siapa Su Ching ni? Tapi apabila saya diterangkan oleh pihak Su Ching sendiri dan saya rasa tiada halangan untuk saya menolak, sebenarnya sangat terharu. Kerana pihak Su Ching mengulurkan bantuan kemanusiaan ini tidak mengira bangsa ataupun agama dan ia mengeratkan hubungan masyarakat di Malaysia kita itu sendiri.
水龙慈济志工向居民协会租借礼堂作为住附近发放地点，再向地方政府申请活动准证，最后再通报警方，确保人潮聚集的安全。经过职工慎密的审查后，一共有101户居民领受现金援助。
Kata daripada Yayasan Su Ching untuk memberi bantuan sokongan emosi terutamanya sebab masa kami semua masih belum stabil sebab masih dalam proses mengemas. So organisasi luar yang tak kenal pun kita siapa, kita strangers tapi datang dan memberi, bagi saya amount ni sangat banyak.
Pandangan saya tak terjangka lah NGO Chinese yang datang tolong. Yang awal tolong datang. You all adalah orang yang pertama NGO first time datang nak bantu, tanya apa masalah, anak sihat. So terima kasih pada Persatuan Su Ching。志工的一份关心，一句问候，足以温暖每一颗受惊吓的心灵。在安定身心后，就算承受过灾难创伤的人，也有能力行善，付出爱。
Yang terdetik hati saya tadi bila kes yang banjir Shah Alam tadi, yang mana saya punya situasi yang saya kena sekarang ni tak seteruk mana, tapi pihak NGO Suzy pun datang begitu. So saya rasa di samping saya terima bantuan, saya pun perlu bantu orang lain juga.
全球气候暖化将带来更多更大的好雨，多一人实践环保之事，就多一份力量扭转未来。
Okay, thanks everyone for listening. Indeed, in troubling times, it is essential to remain unified and remember that money runs out quickly, but love stay forever. This is quoted by our Tzu Chi volunteer in the Los Angeles because of this fire at Los Angeles. He quoted that. He said, Master mentioned this phrase before. So love will like prevail. When was this happen? Actually, it happens last year, end of last year, December, the water retention tank near this Taman Street Alam, Saujana Utama broke, causing floods in that area. A lot of damage to the furnitures and causing a lot of difficulties to these residents. Tzu Chi volunteers hearing that could not bear and quickly went to rescue. It happens just before New Year. So the team will mobilize this year, January, before New Year. So we will ask to go. It's of course a smaller scale compared to Bintulu because it only affected that area due to the water retention. Apparently, it's not the first time we heard from the residents. It's like the third or the fourth time already. So they are concerned if it's not resolved or if this water retention is not moved to other place, then they may face it again. But we know all of us, like in all these urban cities, definitely certain areas have to be sacrificed for the water retention. But unfortunately, the place chosen belongs to these Seri Alam families. So 25 teams were mobilized, around 80, like each team similarly like Bintulu, we have 3 members, plus I think other staff, around almost 100 of us called to be at Sri Alam. So because this area falls under North One, but because North One volunteers, we do not have that many, so it's open up to everyone to join. We are it's most heartening to see volunteers from as far as Klang and very far other places. They drive all the way to join this. For myself, I must very grateful for this opportunity, because that day actually same time we also have another event at Jinsu Hall because we have to there was this rehearsal for the sutra adaptation, but life is indeed full of choices and there's no regret in making the choice of going here. So here I went with my neighbor and another my two mentees. So it's a good learning. So our group before under group A, where we went to Jalan Sri Alam 1 and Jalan Sri Alam 2 for this assessment. Okay, for this area, because when we were there, most of them have already almost clear out, and the street that we covered, it's not that bad, maybe up to the ankle area only. Apparently, what we heard from the flood victims, it's a bit like V shape, that the surface of that resident houses. So imagine those like fall under the deep one. Those will be badly flooded. Some are not even flooded because they are at the higher ground. So it depends where they are situated. It was not actually on surface it looks should be quite easy, right? But then it was very challenging because the people they never heard. Apparently, I think they never heard about Tzu Chi. So when we were there, even though the volunteers before that already informed the resident association, they even apparently posted about our presence in their chat groups. But a lot, they didn't open the door. We know there are people inside the house, but yet it was so difficult to get them to come out. We understand in Malaysia because of a lot of scam situation. So people are so like wary of strangers. Only there were a few houses we are, I think, very grateful because they have children that cannot stay inside the house. The children will be running all the places and the house gate will be open. Or they are going out to buy things, or they were still washing. Those were the few houses that we managed to talk to them. And midway while we were assessing, then suddenly we heard a call to stop all the assessment. See a lot of so in Tzu Chi, we are faced with all these changes. So the team lead asked us to stop because apparently I think there was a resident who said, hey, do you have the questioning us whether we have the authority to do it? Whether then after that, when he heard about the explanation, he said, I have a shortcut way for you. So all of us stop, and all the teams, 25 teams are gathered at there's a community, something like Bukit Tetangga Community Center. They say instead of you going to every house to get the info, we have all the info. But we have been, I think we know well enough, like even in the, maybe unless if it's a certain posh development, condo or what, they have all this info, but generally residential area, how deep, how much information they have. After 1 hour of, I think our leaders are talking to the community so-called rep, self-appointed rep, then they realize that what we want is very more in-depth info which they do not have, and they also can feel the volunteer sincerity. After that, they ask us to proceed with what we are doing, because they are not able to supply information that we require, because we need more, like Sister Lily have covered exactly the same model what we are doing at Bintulu and Sri Alam. They're using the same Google link, all those. So after 1 hour, we are very grateful because in Tzu Chi, all of us are trained the volunteers are trained on this, the 6 parameters. One of it is the endurance and diligence. So we continue and wait for the outcomes. So of course, that was the home assessment day. And very soon, 2 weeks later, this at the distribution site where this round for distribution, because lesser number of volunteers are required. So the volunteers from North One went to assist. So it was open for North One volunteers. So actually, this is the video. The day before, the volunteers, because we found out that at the day one, they don't have a screen, they borrow from another volunteer. So the day before, they started to collect the items, and early in the morning, the living group volunteers together with whoever are available, they go to the community center to transport all this to the day one, because the day one is pretty empty lah. Very truly lah, all these master always teachers if there is a vow, there is a strength. I recall when after the first assessment home assessment that we did, heard that they said they're going to conduct it on 18 January, the disbursement. That point of time, I look at my calendar. 18 January, I have another, I have to be outstation. Wow, Joe, like I remember, I just like pray, please give me, hopefully I have the chance, and please do it in the early morning. Wow, 真的 very grateful so have the chance to join this, because right after this then I travel outstation. Very truly grateful for all the affinities, even though during the home assessment there was a lot of quite pretty challenging because the people are not aware of us, they are wary of us, but during this day of distribution, they realize this is not really not scam. In fact, a lot of them when they reached the center, they were like still asking us. Some of the people were, even though they received our message to come, they didn't come. So the friends they realized that this is real. No, all the volunteers are already stationed at this day one since very early in the morning. Because it's all very nearby, then they started to call their friends or neighbors that received the message. Hey, come, it's not scam. So very good outcome because almost I heard like out of 110, 107 turned up, like very few didn't turn up. So I think at the stadium we can hear, at this day one, we can hear how people, the flood victims, they see what Siew Ching has done, because to them it's really an eye-opener. Some were thinking like they just come and like register and take and leave, but they didn't expect it's a whole program. And they also, like we heard right, stream with how volunteers went through it whole hand in hand with others flood victims. So very touched. In fact, after this 18 January, there was a recycling day. That place not yet have any recycling point or station, but the people understanding that what Siew Ching is doing, they look for us. They went to our recycling station, the nearest recycling point. So it was a good start, and we hope the seedlings will sprout. So this 18 January, just before the New Year, and after that we thought of, okay it's a closure, and we proceed to have a blessed Chinese New Year. But who would have thought at East Malaysia, while a lot of us are celebrating this New Year, welcoming the Lunar New Year, another place they're facing the flooding. As the Sutra of the Eighth realization of great beings, the first realization, the world is impermanent, the earth is perilously fragile. Really hearing this, I just like a reminder of this phrase, less than 1 month. 18 January, we did the distribution at Sungai Buloh, and then we received this calling for volunteers to support the Bintulu site. In fact, wow, 真的是 reminded of Team Master, the boat master have shared before this, the verses from this Sutra and Infinite Meanings, be the field of great blessings for all sentient beings, be the teachers for all sentient beings. Do not ask for the sentient beings, do not ask for, be the safe and happy place for all sentient beings, save and protect life, be this serve all sentient beings everywhere. So in less than 1 month, actually, in fact, like 2 weeks, so we called and we joined this trip to send love to Bintulu. As Sister Lily said, during the New Year, so many things have happened. So is split into a few groups, as we have heard from just now, because of so many 200 over volunteers are traveling at the same time. The air ticket from 200 over ringgit skyrocketed to more than 1,000. But we can see the sincerity of the volunteers. Despite that, they still travel. So for our group, we follow the Batik Air, and we departed on Friday, and we returned on Sunday. All of us stay at the same place, Green Hotel. So today, as we are sharing, there is another group. I think this one is a smaller group doing the distribution. So they are also staying at Green Hotel. So we wish them, give them the best wishes, trust. They can garner, continue the path of what the earlier earlier volunteers have done, continue to spread love and inspire the kindness, awakening in everyone. Our groups, maybe I will focus on what our group went into. So it's like Sister Lydia shared, each group has 3 members. So it's like one is the small leader will do the question, talking, asking questions. Another one will do the writing, keying in the info, and another one will be the 3-in-1, taking the photo, documenting the footprints. We will assign Taman Bukit orang. So along the way, we can still see. Of course, we are very grateful to our 4x4 driver. They fetch us, drop us at this place. We thought everything can be very smooth, but no, it's not that smooth. Like our team, I think like 5 groups are supposed to gather at this place because it's quite wide, and but the vehicles even with the location point, different vehicles will go different place. Actually, but that day for us, we follow a local volunteer car. She knows the place well. She said, I see this, I know. Actually, then the others are actually the other 4x4 drop all the other teams at another place near the industrial area. Only our team were at this at the end, we discovered that was the right location. So it took us some time to like get back to our to the other teams, because we need to assemble, and the bigger team lead has to like assign which team will go where. So 都是很多这些 so it's always that's why very very grateful because in Tzu Chi everyone we the heart of doing this is because we hope to do whatever we can. So a lot of walking before we actually started the hope assessment, walk to find the rest of the team. So along the way we saw a lot of all these discarded furniture, so not all are already removed. So basically, there are around 60 teams. So we were giving all very, I salute the team, the planning team, and they did very well. Even though this one is like a mirror of what we did at Sri Alam, but still a lot of very, very, how to say, it's always very touching to see, and very grateful to see the planning, the people who plan behind, definitely a lot of effort being put. So this time we also keep being reminded, must write properly on this piece of paper, because at Sri Alam, I realized sometimes we thought we want to be fast. We just key in the info inside this, the Zoho link. But sometimes we may not record it. We thought it's easier later record it. But this round we focus more on documenting the info on this piece of paper, because then later if we have time, then we go back and key in. Then at least if anything happens, because after that, like Sister Lily mentioned, we just completed the phone call for them to remind them to go to the center. So after that, we discovered a lot of time when we key in, the number may not be keyed in correctly. The paper one is more correct. We will show to the people, to the resident, this is the correct phone number. So this happens. So that's why it's good to have both. See if wisdom, like Brother Joe said, what is really the discerning wisdom, understanding. Then we will realize, yeah, even though it looks like, why to the, I think, intellectual mind, I will think, why want to waste time? Just key in enough. Why want to write on this piece of paper? But now we realize see after the experience when we do the calling, then we realize always good to have a backup. Maybe I focus on what our group went through. So we went one of the houses. We saw the people were still in the process of washing, a lot of washing, because the water, the area we covered up to 8 feet, but it's similar like Taman, the Sri Muda, very, some of them, actually a lot of them, because the area we covered are all flooded greatly. They have to like climb up from the 2nd floor for rescue. So all the things are all flooded. So for this family, they were still in the process of they can no longer like afford to use their hand to wash. You say they were like, when we were there, we couldn't find them. But later, as we were walking to other house, we keep looking at the house, and then we saw a car, this white car came back. Apparently, they were on their way to Dobby to bring. We can see, the family members also exhausted. So we also, even our trip, the Siu, he's the official photographer, he couldn't bear it also. He looked at us, and the ladies no, he said, wow, because imagine imagine all the cloth when it's wet, so heavy. So he also jumped in to help us to help to bring in the items. So all these so volunteers not only documenting the stories. A lot of times we also hope we can do a bit and share the even though it's a little bit let the share the the burden of the flood victims. This one is another case. This flood victims, when we went to her house, she was alone. We were so surprised when outside was okay. We didn't see any debris, any things in front of the house, rubbish. But when we went inside, wow, so there was a heap of rubbish next to the house, like the her garden. Then when we explained to her we are from NGO coming to do her home assessment if she's willing to be helped, then she said it's okay. I no need you help those more in need because of what I need. I don't think you can help me. She was thinking we are there to like help her wash all those. She said need to. It will take a long process. Maybe you can help other people that need. So then we look at her condition, we can sense somehow it's just like 6 cents. We talk more with her. Then she explained that she is renting a house there and she's not feeling well. Her husband and daughter, the husband will work, the children still young. That day happens to be Sunday. So the husband and the children went to the church, but she was not well and then she has to clean up the thing. So she said, you see, I do it very slow because I'm so sick, she said. Then we asked her whether she has any family members. We found out that she has no family members and the family all rely on the husband. A lot of things are not usable yet because they don't have any not enough money to buy it. So we know this family really in need of finance in need of finance help, but yet she tell us no need. So as we talk more, then we realize, oh, she is the one we are looking for. Then she in the brink of really collapse. We can feel that because sick already, still so much thing to do, and the rubbish all at the house at the side of the house. She said they're not bring outside. I worry people will complain. I will complain. Say if you don't bring it out, then who will know that there is this rubbish? She said I already contacted the authority. So after that, we spoke with her. We also started to offer her to if she can, we also pray with her using this the 慈济 prayer song. Okay, because of time, I just cut short here. As all of us were like praying together with her, watching this clipping. She just like pour out all her emotions to us, and that was the moment of caring and Guanhua, and then she agreed that her name will be she will be one of our recipient. The people there, we can see they are very sincere and very honest, and if they feel no need, in fact a lot of time they did, but they thought no need. They thought that we are offering them food or maybe help them to clean. They will just tell us no need, except for those who really in need. But being Tzu volunteers, we are very grateful. The volunteers all have the same heart. We are there we will assess the situation. If we see the condition is such that require help, we will probe and ask them further. I think that's this one another family that we went in. It's two elderly persons staying here. I see at the right side the arrow. The bottle is still there. She said it's a reminder. She said she also no energy to bring it down. So tired. That's a reminder where the water up. She said up to that level. This granny, she has she's not feeling well. Her body also actually she couldn't hear. She had this hearing issue because she was right there inside the house in front. Quite very near to us, we were calling her. Then she didn't have no reaction at all. At first, we were thinking, hey, what happened? Why this person, like we call her so much, we yell so loud. Then we realized, she has hearing problem. then she realized that we will keep moving. We sent her for quite some time. Then she realized there are people there. Then she started to talk to us. Then we realized only 2 people elderly there, and the husband because of this water, this flooding, he started to fall into depression again. He started then not feeling well. He hurt his body. So as she was sharing her problem first, she said the husband upstairs, a lot of times really very unbearable, especially when we visited first people that are supposed to enjoy Chinese New Year reunion with the family. But imagine the water were rising, and some elderly told us that, you know what, my children knowing the water rising, then they quickly have a early fast eat the reunion, and then the left and asked us to take care. She said, what? Take what care? They didn't even offer to bring us to their house. I mean, we hear a different version, but of course they thought that they also didn't expect it to rise so high. Like Sister Lily said, it's like 40 years to see such a massive flooding. In the past, the water will reach certain level, it will subside. So maybe the old couple, I reckon the children also think like that. But so you hear a lot of all these very sad stories, and I also reflected during the reunion where I was like enjoying. I didn't also even know that behind just like here we have people, so many people were suffering, and then we also heard how when after that they were a lot of times, most of the time we heard that they are saved by private, like the neighbors, no, the people who stay nearby, their own boats, after a few days got rescue boats coming to them, and the temporary shelters, it's nothing. They say they don't even have mattress, and there are so many people. And one of the flood victims told us that the children were running all over the temporary shelter. He got 2 bread for that day. He said the whole day. He said he was so hungry. Reached there, he said, actually why I want to stay in the temporary shelter, because I lost all my. I'm really pensioner, no money, and then lost all these things. I thought I want to save money, but only 2 bread. I only given 2 bread. So he said, I also no choice. Have to think of ways. So he said I also went to the nearby inn to stay for days. Many we heard they stay in the relative or the children's place. A lot of so it's really like very sad stories. It's like a journey of hearing the difficulty, and for us that's lending our shoulder for them to cry on. This street is very special. It doesn't fall inside it's not non-existent. This one is like this owner, there's a factory, and the boss, he has this idle land, so he built this stretch of like squatter. Actually, it's can I say squatter? Maybe it's not squatter. Actually, it's part of his house, but he ran it out. Apparently, there are a lot of similar things like that. They in their own land, they built this, and they rent it out to others. It looks like squatter. Inside this row, there are like 5 houses. Very grateful this time. The team told us, the planning team told us, if you have these conditions where the house that don't have proper address, you just call it, name it your way, ABCD or A1, A2 or whatever. So we give the name to the houses, and we also pull them into our registration list. So this house, the one I pointed, is the level, the water level up to there. So it's supposed to, because of all these, we thought they are refugees or foreigners staying, but no, they are the locals. A lot of times, most of it are the Aborigine, Ibanese or what, people staying. A lot of, but we are very grateful. We also managed to get them and pull them in, and I'm very grateful also, because as we were doing, some of the houses a bit like street alarm, they are not at home, but so long we can get one of them, and that person happens to be a very caring neighbor, just like this street. This guy actually is a taxi driver. He's no longer staying here. He's staying at another place. But because the same row, we met a very kind couple. They started to call. They very fast they realized that we are Tzu Chi people, are genuine. So they very fast have trust in us. Wow, they're like volunteers. They went out and called one after another. You're not back yet. You know what? Got this NGO people want to help. You please come back. 2 of them, the couple, serve as a volunteer. Then they found this taxi driver. He came back and we found out that this taxi driver used to be a Tzu donor. He said he donated for many years then to his friend, a taxi driver who is a Tzu volunteer. But that person suddenly after that like disappeared already. He couldn't contact the person. So we hope that with this today, like tomorrow event, he can come back and continue to come back to Tzu family and continue to be the donors. These stories didn't stop there because we continue on with the calling the past recent few days and I couldn't get his contact. It's back to the couple, the old couple that I mentioned that they were like helping us. So they again serve as our volunteer. All these people who we visited, they agreed to be assessed to receive the aid. So this couple also said, no worry, you can count on me. I will get them to come and ask them to check the message. Very grateful. Truly always very grateful because indeed Buddha said everyone has a good nature. This one I maybe share briefly. Very special stories. This one like the far right. This altar since the flooding until now they didn't do any washing. You know, that's what the owner said. He showed us the picture of the flooding. This house is not like flood until very ankle level. The house is flooded until very high level. And during the flooding, all the furniture we saw all flooded except for this altar. Very surprising. It's always there. It's not a big one. If you see we know the Chinese got big one, but this is considered the mini one. So he said like that long. He said until today like that. Oh, you see, this is we call it supernatural. I said that you do kindness, there's this God to protect you also. This house owner really very kind. They let us to use the house for our break. And then the other one is a rice jar. It's experienced by another group. They saw this the story, this Malay guy. One thing we saw the people there, a lot of them, they're very they harbor the heart of gratitude and in acceptance. He said even though the flooding took away a lot of things, but the God still leave them this jar of rice. So they are very, very grateful. The jar of rice were floated. He said he saw the jar of rice, this pot floated, then still there. And the rice are still inside, still dry. So he said the God let him to still have the chance to eat. During our break, you can see the far right, top right. That's the house with the altar. He very kind. He let us use it. He said, never mind, it's okay. You all can walk around with the shoes. He hasn't done any real cleaning. So we will take our lunch break. And the first day, because I think the massive number of volunteers and all of us were scattered in different communities, Taman, all what. So the lunch came a bit late. But so when the Zhuchang, the big team lead asked us, we still have a lot of cases to cover. Some couldn't cover. If anyone while waiting for the lunch, actually we were all so hungry really. Like sister said, end of the day, she said, wow, I bought more than 10,000 steps. But the volunteers, because imagine 1,000 ringgit also volunteers willing to pay the ticket to go there, means the volunteers are ready there to be on the mission. So we just grab whatever opportunity we have while waiting for the rice. We continue to do more home assessment. During the break, then we will sit down and key in whatever we have written earlier. Truly, Master Ching's aphorism. We are the most grounded thing in life. Is whatever is to utilize whatever strength that we possess and we can contribute immediately. Okay, we are also very grateful. This for day one with this Cebu teammates. They are very I must say very fantastic. For day two, because day two they said they try to split into 2 person in a team, so we can cover faster. That's why we can break more than 4,000 mark houses because we split more teams. Some of our they're very flexible. We can see some of the like 78 years old volunteers they still joining us. But we know it's not easy under the sun. And then like what Sister Lily said, actually it was always like raining, rain stop, then the hot sun come. It's like we have to struggle with all these things. So and then walking all the time. So some of them, if they cover half day, is still okay because we have the 4x4 vehicle that will bring them back. So day two, I said these two volunteers they are good on their own already. They can be their own team leader. So I joined the Meihua, another team for day two. So that team also very good because we have a local Bintulu volunteer. So she's able to tell them where is the recycling station and where's the Gong Xiu Chu. We hope that more people can join Bintulu and next time touch wood of course we hope everything will be peaceful but whatever it is we hope that there will be more volunteers in Bintulu we keep stressing, not to say stressing, we keep trying to highlight ask them why this flood happens. People will say yeah because of the development that row of industrial area, or they'll say because of shopping mall or whatever. They will always say, then we say are you sure? Okay, aside from that what do you think what about the river swollen, what are the things floated in the river? Then they will look down, yeah, it's the plastic that the rubbish they all throw. You say if all these plastic water the glass bottle, all these you can send to recycling station isn't it good? Then you will be able to help to safeguard your own place. And then they noted, but where? So that's why we also be able to spread recycling point station there. We hope that more people can be our recycling volunteers, even if no, at least they can bring their things there. This is calling this, I think in the latest we managed to, the teams managed to cover most of the care recipients. So we look forward to tomorrow's stories. Trust it's going to be one that is very touching. I think during the calling, I'm so very grateful. Aside from the old couple I mentioned, there's another lady, so very kind. Because she was the only one at that street that pick up the call. The others I could not either the phone out of service or the person didn't even read the WhatsApp, because when call cannot reach them, we will text them messages. Most of the time 90% 99 they will call back when they see the messages in the WhatsApp. But it happens that these two really cannot. So this lady very kind. She's, even though she's working, I call her in the afternoon. She said never mind, after work I will go and see. So she went there to see. Oh, the person is not there. So she even take photos, show me, the person is not there. But I said it's okay. I also don't want to burden her. I said never mind, we pray the person will what. But she didn't stop there. Then she texted the next morning, I'm still checking. Then she said, because I need to work, I worry the person didn't know. It's okay. Then she very kind. She even, well, she's very kind. She even posts in the community group. Put my handphone there. You can imagine. I started to be like hotline already, my phone yesterday. So but 都好，一切都 all are good affinities. We also very grateful. Because of this kindness of these volunteers, also she also in a way helping more people that are affected. Hopefully they can be helped and they can receive 慈济 kindness. Actually it didn't stop there. This house is stayed by an old man. He cannot read, apparently then I realized he cannot read the WhatsApp message. He's not able to understand what is the location point, and he don't know where is the distribution point. So very grateful. So this person this volunteer, the recipient who is now the so-called volunteer, she will fetch him, she will bring him to the center. So really very grateful. This is everywhere we can see there's a lot of 人情, a lot of kindness everywhere. So 感恩 the end of the slide is by sharing the 精神 aphorism. Our life is most grounded when we are contributing whatever we can at each and every opportunity. And master 精神 aphorism. Continue when it is hard to go on. Release even when it is hard to let go. Endure even when it is hard to bear. This is how we enhance our character. Okay, 感恩 everyone for listening. Okay, I pass back to Brother Chin. 感恩。
感恩 so much, Sister Lee. This is Su Ching for the heartfelt sharing, all of the flood relief that you are doing. So you have shown to us the four embracing virtues in action: charitable giving, loving speech, beneficial conduct, and collaborative effort. And obviously, in your charitable giving, you've done your aid distribution. In loving speech, especially in calming down the flood victims. Obviously, that comes from the heart. Thirdly, in terms of the beneficial conduct and getting relief to all the flood victims, which obviously requires great effort for all of you. But more importantly, is all this thing can only happen when you have the collaborative effort to bring everybody together. And quite amazing that Sister Lily shared with us how they got all the four-wheel drives together. I know that's really the collaborative effort in motion. So, brothers and sisters, thank you for staying right through and for all the great sharing from Brother Joe to Sister Chow, and obviously on the flood relief by Sister Lily in Bintulu and Su Ching in Taman. So that's all the time we have for this weekend, and with gratitude, let us now pay our respects, giving 3 bows to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, the 3 treasures. First bow. Second bow. And the third bow. We now offer 1 bow to our both masters. So with that note, God so much, brothers and sisters, and we'll hope to see you back again next week. And for those who are busy this weekend, we'll continue with a diligent effort with all the voluntary work that goes on. Okay, you all have a great week ahead. We'll see you next week.
Hello, cảm ơn Brother Chi, cảm ơn brothers and sisters. See everyone next week. Cảm ơn.